Hello guys, this is Parker Motor and today I'm going to teach you guys how to fix a e-bike hub motor that doesn't spin. Maybe it switches or maybe it just cuts out in the middle of a ride. So today we're going to deal with a motor cable that melted and doesn't have a good connection. Although there could be other reasons why your e-bike hub motor doesn't work. It could be that the Hall sensor board inside of the motor doesn't fried and you need to replace it. It could also be that your motor fried. Maybe there's something going with your battery. But anyways, we're gonna go and show you what happened with my bike. Okay, so I'm gonna show you the problem with the motor cable. So you can see right here, let's see if the camera can focus. So you can see black stuff around the pins right here, and that's plastic from the female side of the connector. And basically it got hot enough that the pins melted the plastic around the connectors, and then it melted into the pins. And now this motor actually spins, but it cuts out, and basically it's because there's enough resistance that the current doesn't flow correctly, and it cuts out for a bit. And eventually what's gonna happen if you keep using it like this, the resistance is gonna create more heat, it's gonna create more, it's gonna melt the connector even more, the plastic is gonna go, more plastic is going to go to the pins, and then eventually will stop spinning because even though you're pushing the throttle, the current won't go through, and you won't get any power into the motor itself. Okay, so now I'm gonna talk about what we're gonna do. And for that, I'm gonna show you this bike right here. And this bike experienced the same problem. I came defective from the factory, and eventually the pins melted the plastic around it. And so you can see this is what I did to fix it. So I just got some empty stick connectors, and I basically cut the cable, the real cable that was here, and then I got the three Hall sensor wires and inserted them into this M60 connector, and then for the other 6 piece wires, for like speed, watts, the temperature, if you have that on your home motor, I use a automotive waterproof connector I got on Amazon, and I include them into this connector right here, and now it works. And now I'm just gonna talk about the specs for this connector. I believe that this can do 30 amps continuous and up to 60 amps peak. So this, by doing this, you won't ever get a multi connector again, because I think that this 750 watt kits can only do like 25 amps peak. So you should never get a multi connector again. Another thing you can do really quick is that you can get a fan extension connector. I'm going to show you guys that real quick. You can get a cable like this, and you can find this on Amazon, AliExpress. I want to leave a link for this. And basically, instead of getting the connectors I just showed, what you can do, I'm going to show you guys. So in this bike, what I could do on this bike is I could shop the connector right here and this one right here, and then using this cable, I could splice this in half, and then I could solder the wires together right here to get a new male connector that doesn't have the plastic around it, and then this is the same thing right here where the plastic is not melted. The only problem with that is that eventually it might melt again, and because at first I thought it was that using this connector and getting it melted was just bad luck, but I got this on 2 bikes already, so I wouldn't recommend it unless you don't want to get a bulkier connector, because as you can see, it does make it bulkier. Okay, so I already cut the male side of the connector, and now I'm gonna cut this part of the connector. I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna use some wire cutters that I got from Harbor Freight. You can use any, as long as they're sharp. And then, as you can see, you have the color wires right here, and on the previous bike that I fixed, I found that you can pretty much match the other colors of the wires. In your case, you might have to play around with the cables, but for the most part, especially for the sensor wires, it should be the same color for every wire. Okay, so I already cut and put some hinge shrink in the side of the connector, and I'm gonna do the same here. So don't forget to put your hinge shrink, so before you start tiring, you can cover the wires. And it looks like this maybe a bit too small for it. Okay, yeah, it does. I just need to massage a little bit. And now I'm gonna use this armatic wire cutters to cut it. I'm gonna get a good get a good length from the wires. I think this is good enough. Okay, I'm gonna get this out, and now I'm going to just pick,
get a bunch of the smaller wires and then just group the big wires together to then solder into the MT60 connector. I'm going to start stripping a little bit of the connector right here. Actually, I'm going to kind of gauge it with this with MT60 part. Let's see how much I have to strip back. So I'm gonna take this here, just kind of measure, see how much I have to do. It looks like it's about like 1 centimeter. I don't really know how to do it like in inches stuff like that, but yeah, like 1 centimeter is what I have to cut from the wire. So now I'm gonna use this wire to gauge to kind of cut about the same length. I'm gonna use my finger right here as a mark, and I'm gonna keep doing that for the other blue wire. And then if I notice that I need to cut a little bit more, I'm gonna do that before I start soldering. Okay, and now what I have to do is I have to put a little bit solder into this, and also put a little solder into this, and then I'm going to arrange it together for this side, and then I'm gonna take the male side and put it on this side, and I'm gonna update you in doing that in the next clip.
Okay, now I'm just going to check if it's hot enough to thin it, and if you don't know what tinning is, you just put a small coat of soldering into it. It's gonna make the soldering easier, it's gonna transfer the heat better. So yeah, if you have a new tip, search up on YouTube how to do it. I'm not the best soldering guy, but yeah, you can see how I do it. I'm just gonna check if it's hot enough. It already has flux, so I'm just gonna to melt a little bit of solder into this thing. I'll be right here too. And then maybe a little bit more right here. Then I'm going to clean it up with a sponge, and then do it again to thin it until I have a nice coat in the tip. So I'm cleaning right now. I'm gonna do it again. You can already see that it's getting the coat there. A little bit more flux. A little bit is enough. You don't need a lot. And if you're doing this, make sure to have it on a table or something, because hot stuff can damage anything that you are doing this on. Now again, I'm going to... Oh, and remember when you're doing this, do it in an open space. I actually want to get a fan after this. I'm actually going to stop the video and get a fan, because it's not good to inhale any of the siren smoke. Okay, I'm back. I got a fan. As a reminder, if you're doing this on your room or something like that, definitely recommend that you have a fan to blow away the smoke. You don't want to inhale it. And yeah, I'm gonna keep doing this. And something I forgot to talk about is that I'm gonna leave the link for this. If you get this, you're probably gonna need a smaller iron, especially for your skill. Maybe if you're really good, you don't need to get a small tip because you're already good enough handling everything. I'm also gonna leave the link for the smaller tip that I got to make it easier. And yeah, I'm gonna put a little bit more flux, and then put another coat of a solder in here. Yeah, so it looks like, I mean, this is not the best coat. I've seen guys on YouTube that have a much cleaner coat, so I maybe doing something wrong, but it looks like I have somewhat of a coat here. And then I'm gonna do it again one more time. Yeah, so it's supposed to be a little bit more shiny than this, but I was seeing on YouTube guys that do it. But it looks like it's starting to stick, the solder, so that's good. Maybe just put a little bit more. And also remember to, if you're doing this, you probably have a solder, lead-based solder. That's the best kind. You can also get lead-free, but that doesn't do as good as a job as this. So make sure that after handling solder, you wash your hands to not consume any of the toxic lead. Okay, I'm going to inspect it. You can see it's shiny. It doesn't look the best that it could, but I think this is a decent job. You can look up on YouTube how to do it again. But yeah. So now I'm going to set up my my helping hands. But yeah, let's see how we do this. Oh, and another tip is using helping hands that don't have this rubber thing. I would recommend using some heat shrink, cutting the heat shrink and then heating up. So that teeth right here, maybe you can do a close up here. This teeth, if you don't put some rubber or some heat shrink on it, it's gonna bite into the insulation, and then you're gonna open up the bare wire. And of course, you don't want that, so make sure to put some heat shrink or something to protect the wires that you're clamping onto this teeth. So now I'm going to start starting this, starting the empty connector. I'm gonna use some flux. And I'm gonna try and just dip these little plates into the flux to help the solder, go into it. I'm going to try. This is a bit too much actually. It's probably too much than you need. And then, but it looks like it didn't get here a lot, so I'm gonna try and like scoop some a little bit. But I'm going to grab my finger and try to spread on it evenly. So yeah, I'm going to try to spread it so it goes evenly inside the plate. And maybe you can use like maybe like a wire right here to do it, and then you can just flux on the wire maybe. Um, Try to get it evenly, and I'm just going to take advantage that I'm going to also get a little bit of flux into the wire so I don't have to do it later. And this is how it looks. Maybe too much still, but yeah, you want this flux to make it easier to start the lead into it. Okay, so now I'm going to start putting some solder into the golden plates. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this behind. It's a little bit hard. You gotta be careful that you don't melt the plastic in the connector. You have to keep it long enough for the golden plate to get hard enough to melt the solder. I already have some flux, which will make it easier. Right now, you gotta be careful because right there I just melted some part of the thing that dropped off. But it looks like it's hot enough right now that I can melt it into the golden plate. You don't need too much, you just need enough for it to make contact. Let's see, I think that's enough. If not, I'll put some more. And then that's all you gotta do. I'm just gonna do the same off camera to not make this video too long, and then I'm gonna show you how to crimp the other wires. Okay, an update on my soldering of the connector. So I found a video that gives you a tip that you can connect the other part of the connector, and this helps to dissipate the heat into this connector, so that way it doesn't get as hot as fast. So yeah, it looks like it does help make it so you can put the tip there for a little bit longer without making it too hot. Now I only need this side of this plate, put my little more solder in there, I'm gonna be done. Now I'm just waiting for the connector to cool down to work on the last pin that I have to do. I want to show you guys how it's supposed to look. So this looks better. This is much better, I would say. Maybe a little bit more soldering, but yeah, it's better. This is way too much right here. This is way too much. So it should look like this. Because if you do it like this, the cable is not gonna be able to fit into the plate. Now you're gonna have to melt it, and then you're gonna have to push the cable inside. And that's actually what happened to me on the last bike. But yeah, just remember to not do it so you have less trouble. Okay, so I'm all done with the connector. Now I'm going to put some solder into the halters of wires. I can show you guys because I don't have my cameraman with me. I'm just going to do it. It should be easy enough, and I'm gonna show you guys once I'm done. Okay, I finished soldering all the cables with a little solder. This one has a little bit too much, but I'm gonna fix it when I put the heat for the connector. When I put it right here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some hinge shrink. I'm going to group this together, put some hinge shrink, so once I can cover all of this insulation right here, so you can see it. I like it that it looks all black. And then what I'm going to do is put the protective slip, and this keeps all the cables separated so they don't touch and cause a short or something like that. So don't forget when you're doing this right before you solder it, put this inside. Now I have this set up so that the cable right here is touching the golden plate. I'm gonna do the green one, then the blue one, yellow one, and then for the other side. So yeah, again, I can show the process because I don't have a cameraman. It's usually pretty easy. You just heat up the plate. You just put the iron right here to make some heat. You wait until it's hot enough for the solder to melt. Then you melt it right here. You put some in there until there's some good connection. After that, you can like toggle a little bit just to make sure that it's good connection, and yeah, it should be done. Okay, so now I'm gonna show you how the first one looks. It looks a little bit black because of the flux that just born a little bit. And now I'm just gonna toggle it and see how the connection works. I'm gonna toggle it from this side. It looks like there's a good strong connection right there. And now you have to do the same for this one and this one. So it's pretty easy. The hardest thing I think is setting this up so it doesn't move too much. It doesn't move too much. Thankfully I have this
helping hands right here that makes it a little bit easier to manipulate everything.
Oh, and just a quick update on the connector is that it doesn't matter how you arrange the pins. For example, you can see right here, well, you can really see it. If you focus here, there's a plus sign and a negative sign. So it doesn't matter if you put this on the positive, whatever. It only matters that you do it on the same side. So for the other side, it has to be positive side green as well. But if you do it green, yellow, whatever, it doesn't matter. You gotta keep it the same for the other side. And that's it. Okay, I got the male side done, as you can see. All the wires are soldered. And let's see if I can show you some of the mistakes that I made. Now you can see how there's a little bit of burn marks right here. I mean, it was pretty. I tried my best, but sometimes I just couldn't keep it away from this side. But yeah, just a little bit. The cable slip is gonna mask it. This is like the third time actually soldering a MTCT connector, and it went much better than the last time. I didn't burn it like the other ones, and it was much better and much faster. So yeah, just be patient your first time. Get the right iron tip because you need a small one for this. And yeah, just be patient. Okay, I made a dumb mistake that I want you guys to avoid. So when I put the slip in, I forgot that there's little notches. There's like two that you have to line up. When I was looking at them, I was told, oh, I guess I can put it in any way I want. But no, you gotta make sure that when you're figuring out how you want to put this, you want it to put like right here, like here, because you can put it any way you want. When you figure that out, you also want to think out how this is going to line up. This notch right there. You want to make sure that it lines up with the connector right here. So yeah, make sure that when you're doing that, you line them up. So you don't have to desire and do it again. So after a lot of work, I was able to fix it, but it took me a lot of time because there was a lot of solder in there. So I had to melt it and push it back a little bit so then the cables fit. It actually made it so now it barely fit. I had to play around it to reach it because now the cables didn't go all the way. They were to the halfway of the plate. So yeah, definitely don't forget to line up the notches so you don't have to do it again and miss a lot of time doing it again. Okay, so while this is cooling down, I wanted to show you guys a tip that I have for you guys to make it more waterproof. So as you can see in this part, well, you can't really see it anymore, but on this part there was a little space where water could go in or humidity. So I use a hot glue gun like this. I put some silicone on it. It doesn't look the best. I couldn't make it cleaner, but right now I sealed the space where water could go in, and now it's much better. So yeah, if you want to do that, you can either get some dielectric grease and stuff it there before you heat shrink it. Okay, so a quick update on the other part of the connector. So this is done. But I install this. But on this connector is also done. I finally was able to finish it. As you can see, it had some trouble. I burned this part of the connector pretty bad. It still works, but it had some trouble with the sleeve didn't go in because the cable melted into the pin and didn't go in. So I had to use the soldering iron as a plastic welder instead of a solder welder. But yeah, I was finally able to get it done. The problem was that this heat shrink made it so the cable lead was really close to the wire. So when I would put the soldering iron here, it would also touch this and melt stuff. I finally just really pulled it. That's why you see that this is all damaged a little bit because I had to pull it really into here so it wouldn't touch like this. But yeah, it's done. Now I just need to put some hot glue in here to make it more waterproof. Then maybe heat shrink this and then start crimping with the ABR connectors. Okay, so now I'm gonna teach you how to install this. So you have to crimp this, and how this works is that you get these pins. They're different. You need one for each side. Is a different pin. And what you do is you take this blue wire grommet that's to keep the wire out, and you put it inside this little wing right here. And what I like to do is after I align it, I like to use some pliers like this and I like to tighten it so it doesn't fall out because it's really frustrating when you're doing it and it falls out and you have to pick it up again. So you just grab your pliers, you just tighten a little bit just so it doesn't fall out. And then let's do a close up on the wires. Okay, so now obviously you have to strip it first, but you put it aside. And
right now, and I don't know if you can see it, but you only need to take it up to this second set of wings. You don't need to do it all the way here. You only need to get it so it reaches this part of the wing from the wing. So now with this, you can kind of gauge how much you need to strip it. It's like 3/4 of a centimeter, almost a full centimeter, and then you just strip it with whatever wire stripper you have. So this might be, yeah, I think looks good. Let's see. So like I said, it only needs to be reached like this here, and yeah, that's it. I'm not going to show everything because we will take too long, but I'll make an update as I go. I finished crimping everything. As you can see, I can already stop. I already started putting the pins inside the connector. I still haven't done this just so I can see the color I need to put. And I can't really show this. It's better if you guys look up a tutorial on how to crimp automotive connectors. But basically, what you do, you take this connector and you put one inside here, one inside this hole right here, one inside this hole, and this inside this hole. And this is upside down, so this is why I'm putting it this way. But if you put it the right way, this would be flipped like this. But yeah, I'll drop a video on that, and I'm gonna do it and then show you guys. And also, of course, make sure that that you match the color. So let's see, to the left corner right here, that's yellow. You also gotta do the yellow on this connector right here, left corner yellow as well. Okay, this is one of the final updates. As you can see, I was finally able to put this all together. And just one a warning is that the sensor wires are very thin, so when you crimp them, they may get out. They may like eventually get out of the crimp and not work. I'm gonna show you an example of what happens when you're doing correctly. This is the last time I did it, and you can see that this cable that was supposed to go right here got out because I guess I didn't do it correctly. I didn't tighten enough because it's really hard because they're very thin. Okay, now we're going to test if it actually spins. Hopefully it does. It should. My brother here is turning it on. Now he's going to push the throttle. And yeah, it seems like it works. So at the end, for some reason, I found that this connector, the automatic connector, is just too tight, like kind of forced. So hopefully, we just do this, try to make it so you have enough length. This may be hard, especially if you're making mistakes and you have to like recrimp. But yeah, something to be aware of. Okay, guys, I finally finished. Let's see the speeds. It looks like the speed works. We're gonna test that out later. Taking my dog out. It looks like everything's working. And I'm gonna show you the final result. Of course, it looks bulkier. I wish it was less bulky, but it works. And I hope that this video helped you guys. And hopefully you guys can avoid some of the mistakes that I showed during the video, so you guys can do it faster and easier than me. And bye bye.